Hi, I'm Helmut Licht. Thank you for joining me. 2 years ago, Saturn started going through my first house, just about 2 years ago. And today I thought to myself, I'm going to read up on the meanings of Saturn going through your first house and see whether I can relate to those interpretations. So I went to different websites on the internet and got some clips from here, some clips from there, and I would like to now briefly discuss them with you with an ulterior motive. Please follow me. To start with, let me give you 3 interpretations that I have for Saturn moving through your first house. The first one brings back something that happened to me at a grocery store a few years back. I was looking at the bacon. I like bacon. And a black lady next to me said, you like bacon? I said, yeah, I do, but it's too much grease in the bacon. So I stopped eating it. And she said, well, let me tell you a trick. What you do is you put the bacon in boiling water, so all the grease boils out of the bacon and flows through the top. And then you take a paper towel and you absorb all that grease in the top. Then you pour the water out, and what you have left is bacon without the grease. It still tastes delicious. Well, I tried that and it really works. So that's the first thing. The second thing is when a company produces a diving board. As they build the board and work with the engineers, when it's all finished, before they put it out on the market, somebody has to jump on it to make sure that it's strong enough and doesn't break. So I guess they will take somebody who's pretty heavy and make him jump up and down on the diving board and give it a good stress test. If it's not good enough, it will break. If it's good, then it's okay to put in the market. With respect to the bacon and the grease, well, I've lost about between 20 and 25 pounds since Saturn first entered my first house. I feel lighter naturally. I feel stronger, healthier, better about myself, my appearance. And with respect to the diving board, I was involved in a long-term relationship. It underwent a stress test, which it did not survive. Nobody is to blame. But it was terminated, and I now find that I have a lot of time that I can devote to things that I really want to devote time to. And now let's have a look at the various clips that I gathered from the different astrology sites with respect to Saturn transiting the first house. When Saturn transits the house of the perceived self and identity, others will increasingly see you as someone they can rely on, who is responsible, patient, and organized. Nicely put. Saturn transits through the first house. This transit starts with Saturn passing over the ascendant, and it marks the start of a new cycle in your life. During the next 14 years or so, you have to concentrate more on taking care of internal matters rather than focusing on what's going on out there with everyone else. The first house is you, your personality, and how you approach things. When Saturn moves here, you have a chance to figure out not just who you are, but who you want to be. You often walk away from this transit feeling much stronger and more secure in who you are as a person. Often, this transit is an excellent time for starting something new, but it will be long-term and not something you see rewards from in the short term. You are making plans for many years to come. When Saturn is transiting this house, you are making a new identity for yourself. There is a Joseph Campbell quote that speaks directly to what takes place during the shift from Saturn from the 12th into the first house. We must be willing to get rid of the life we have planned so as to have the life that is waiting for us. The end result is a newfound identity and a realistic understanding of the self. In terms of career and projects, outward signs of progress may not be as forthcoming, yet the work that you do during this transit will lay a foundation for future success and progress. Well, this should give you a pretty good idea what it means when Saturn is moving through your first house. I'd like to now look at another chart that has Saturn moving through the first house. It is none other than a chart of the United States of America. Here is the birth chart. I will now create another ring and call it transits, static. And now I will progress the transits to right now. This is right now it's July 4th, 1776. Let's move it up about 99 years. 1875, 1974, and let's go now at an increment of 70 years. 81, 88, 95, 2002, 2009, 2016. Let's move it up by a month at a time. July, August, September, October, and we are now November the 15th, I believe. So let's move it up day by day. 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 15. All right, and notice please right here, Saturn is in the first house. So what you really learn about Saturn in the first house on a personal basis can be equally applied to the chart of the United States. So what you might want to do at the end of this video, go back to the beginning, and instead of thinking about my chart, think about all the things that are being said with reference to the United States. I will quickly bring up one of the earlier examples to show you what I mean. When Saturn transits the house of the perceived self and identity, others will increasingly see you as someone they can rely on, who is responsible, patient, and organized. Saturn transits through the first house. This transit starts with Saturn passing over the ascendant, and it marks the start of a new cycle in your life. During the next 14 years or so, you have to concentrate more on taking care of internal matters rather than focusing on what's going on out there with everyone else. The first house is you, your personality, and how you approach things. When Saturn moves here, you have a chance to figure out not just who you are, but who you want to be. Let's find out when in the recent past Saturn moved into the United States first house. A quick look at the ephemeris shows us that Saturn went into the first house for the first time December 6th of 2015. Now, let's go back to December 2nd, and Saturn was already within orb of the ascendant. Before I refresh your memory as to what happened December 2nd of 2015, let me quickly bring out one more earlier clip that we have to read. At the start of this transit, you may see something important happen in your life, for good or for bad. I think it is safe to say that this incident was an eye-opener for our country. I'm not going to make any predictions as to what Saturn going through the United States first house might bring, but it might be a good idea if we went back to the last time Saturn went into the United States first house and see what happened then. Okay, let's do that. To save time, I created an ephemeris for Saturn of the year of 1968. And here it is. Saturn was within orb of the ascendant on January 23rd, 1986 at 7-14, and it crossed into the first house on February the 5th, 1986 from 8-13 to 17. It finally moved into the first house to stay somewhere between October 31st and November the 1st, when it moved from 8-13 to 8-20. And some of you might remember that during that time, our president was none other than Ronald Reagan. And here are a few quotes from Ronald Reagan. Government's view of the economy could be summed up in a few short phrases. If it moves, tax it. If it keeps moving, regulate it. And if it stops moving, subsidize it. The most terrifying words in the English language are, I'm from the government and I am here to help you. And then there's one more, which has a very special meaning to me, because I am from Germany originally. Tear down this wall. Strange that both Mr. Reagan and Mr. Trump had an issue with the wall. The difference is that Mr. Reagan's wall kept those people in communist Germany who yearned to be in the West, in the American sector, in the free Germany, from escaping communism, whereas Mr. Trump's wall protects his own country from illegal immigrants. Last not least, I would like to sum up Mr. Reagan's achievements. Over the 8 years of the Reagan administration, 20 million new jobs were created. Inflation dropped from 13.5% in 1980 to 4.1% by 1988. Unemployment fell from 7.6% to 5.5%. Net worth of families earning between $20,000 and $50,000 annually grew by 27%. Real gross national product rose 26%. The prime interest rate was slashed by more than half, from an unprecedented 21.5% in January of 1981 to 10% in August 1988. Given actual rates of inflation through 1987, the Reagan tax cuts saved the median income two-earner American family of four close to $9,000 in taxes from what it would have owed in 1980. How can you argue with those figures? And I have a feeling that's what's in store for us now. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Keep astrologing and have a better day tomorrow.